Hello, welcome to another edition of Johnny Stocks 212. Other people trying to sell you something? I'm just here to find those A winners, go-getters, trend-setting companies to invest in. Thank you for joining me wherever you may be. We got a great show for you today. Today we're talking about an exciting company called Viking Therapeutics. Please read the disclaimer on your own time. So Viking Therapeutics, clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, they're trying to develop some oral first-in-class therapies for treatment of endocrine disorders and metabolic disorders. So let's look at the leadership team. Dr. PhD Brian Lynn, a lot of experience in pharmaceutical industry. I apologize, could not find a photo of Brian Lynn, but I've heard him in a few interviews. Definitely, leadership team sounds very outstanding. I'm a big fan of companies with outstanding leadership teams. They're developing one of the ones I'm really excited about is their VK2809 oral small molecule thyroid hormone receptor agonist for lipid and metabolic disorders. Some of them are in phase 2 trials for treatment, like in NASH, which is basically non-alcoholic steatosis, hepatitis, and fibrosis. And they've shown that that molecule, at least in the phase 1 trial, elevated low density lipoprotein cholesterol. That's your LDLC. And patients, they showed a statistically significant reduction in LDLC compared to patients with placebo. So that's good news. They also have products in metabolic disorders. They have a glucagon-like peptide 1 molecule that's currently in phase 1 trials. So I'm really excited about that. Let's look at the pipeline, because this is the big deal here. This is what, I talked about the NASH, the VK2809. This molecule here is in phase 2 trials. They have more data to report. They have a GLP-1 agonist. We talked about metabolic disorders. Also type 2 diabetes medication, phase 2 trial. So that's another one that's already completed. Phase 2A has been completed. They have a lot of data that's going to be reporting. I'm interested to see, what the NASH. There's not a lot of good treatment options for NASH. And, there could always be better treatment options for type 2 diabetes. There's also, this hip fracture muscle wasting, which is really interesting. I think could be a big deal. So they have a lot of data that they got to report. I'm hoping to see something get into this phase 3 trial, because that's where really the investor can really do well here, and the patients, because obviously if it's phase 3, if it passes phase 3, that's approval. So we're still looking. They have a lot of data that they got to report on. I think they have some interesting medications. This F-base inhibitor for type 2 diabetes. I'm interested to see what the phase 2 data reads out. And I'm going to continue to follow this company. So let's look at the stock price. So VKTX Viking Therapeutics, at the time of the video, is trading at $3.16. Now, I do think, unfortunately, this stock could go down a little bit in the short term. And the reason being just because of the economic environment. As inflation rates go up, and if they have to increase the interest rates, everybody knows Jay Powell, the Fed chair, if he increases inflation, the interest rate, these biotechnology companies with, minimal cash flow are going to get hit the hardest. Okay, they get hit the hardest. Now, I do think this is a good company still to invest in. I like the opportunity they have in the NASH medication as well as the type 2 diabetes medication. I'm going to continue to monitor this company. And if it falls down to the, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75 range, I'm a buyer. I am a buyer. So I'm going to continue to monitor this company. I do think there's a big potential for upside with Viking Therapeutics, and a lot of information they're going to be reporting in the coming months with their phase 2 trials, their phase 1 trials. That's all the time I have today. Please make sure, if you enjoyed this video, to like and hit the subscribe button. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.